Okay, and we are live from Berlin, my hometown, for a little walk with me about some topics that are in the domain of coaching, for example, fears, and how to deal with fears and sustainability. Now, both in coaching and in consulting last week, I touched the topic on fears. How do you deal with fears? And there's one easy way, let's call it the accountant's way of dealing with fears. And the easy way is, what can you lose and what can you win? And then you can make a decision on how important that fear is and how important that danger is to you and what you can win. Of course, in real life, it's not always as easy dealing with the fears as with the accountant way. So maybe some coaching can help. And don't know whether I told you yet, there's a nice series of books by Carsten Dusse, a lawyer, and the first book is called in German Achtsam Morden, which I would translate in English Mindful Killing. And the story is about mindfulness and how important mindfulness is in life. Now we got an ambulance coming. This can happen in Berlin. It's also rush hour now. Everybody wants to go in the weekend. So back to mindfulness. Actually, many, if not most, of the problems we have in life are either in the past or in the future. And we can tell ourselves the moment we are in right now is a good moment. We are safe. I hope you are safe at least. And we don't have problems. We're in a good place. Most of the problems are past and in the future. We have things in mind about the past we haven't really digested, or we fear for the future. We don't know how the future will be like. And so mindfulness certainly helps with fears. The second book actually in this series is about the inner child, and I had to smile so much because very often when we are triggered and we have fears, then it's not really our current self that is having those fears. Very often it is a younger version of ourselves, let's call it the inner child, that is triggered by the circumstances. And then we can work with the inner child, and we can actually calm down our inner child. Very often these are unresolved traumas we had in the childhood, and then we can deal with the fears by dealing with the inner child. Of course, if you have significant fears, these recommendations, these like tactical or ambulant recommendations don't help you, and you need to work with a professional coach. Talking about professional coaching, there is the EASC Congress coming up in Berlin. The EASC is the European Association for Supervision and Coaching, and it will be the Congress will be in September on the 16th through the 18th of September in Barcelona, and I will run a workshop on the 17th of September, and the topic will be how can we get to sustainability with 6 questions. And the 6 questions I take from Robert Dill's logical levels, and we'll first start establishing a position about ourselves, our individuals, and then we'll craft a team position about sustainability with the help of Robert Dill's logical levels. So that will be an interesting journey. There's a lot of interesting workshops on the conference in Barcelona, and I really recommend you to have a look. The whole Congress is under the topic of sustainability. It's called Impact, and so certainly that will be a nice event. But from the Congress back to coaching and back to fears. Very often I'm asked, so coaches, you're okay with everything? You don't have any fears? You don't have problems? Of course, that is not true. And even we coaches, we sometimes need coaching and or supervision, which is a supervisor looking at and discussing with us our coaching work. We always also have problems. We might have problems in our own life. Sometimes it's difficult to avoid resonance with anything that happens during the coaching. Maybe we coaches, we have experienced something very similar as our coachee, and then of course it is very, very important that we don't have that resonance, and we can help the coachee without having any strong emotions ourselves. So I think fears, they can drive us. Very often fears mislead us. Sometimes it's good to be aware of the fears. There's a saying, everything interesting is on the other side of fears. And that somehow implies that if you overcome the fears, we will get rewarded. And very often the fears, they're holding us back rather than really helping us. I'm not talking about any fears that are really substantial, that prevent us from doing any very stupid things. I'm very fearful about high altitudes, and with my wife we celebrate our wedding day. We try to celebrate every month, and we were in the mountains in Germany, and we were just hiking, and we both had these fears of altitude, and it was really crazy. There was a little footpath, and it was like only shoulders width, and on the left it went like 50 meters downhill, and on the right there was a wall 50 meters uphill, and it was just crazy. We both really couldn't hike that footpath. So sometimes fears help you, and sometimes fears actually prevent you from realizing good things. So much about fears, and very often those fears are also important for entrepreneurs. I think when you start your own business, for example in the recycling area, and everything is fearful. I mean, you're just entering a new environment, a new world where you don't have the experience, and then it's good to have good partners, good allies who can help you on the journey. And that comes back to me saying and stressing to all my contacts, and especially also my consulting clients, the importance of people and partnerships in the business. I mean, we cannot realize anything without the real partners, without constructive partners that are helpful and that are fun to work with. I'm at the traffic lights waiting to cross. Okay, some people want to show their nice Porsche, like you have in all European cities. It's quite full streets right now, rush hour I think, and also spending a weekend. So I hope you can hear the microphone okay. Microphone, by the way, I'm using a Shure microphone for the iPhone. Previously, I've used in the last live streams and also the last video interviews with my big camera, I've used the DJI wireless microphones. Or I think in the last Berlin walk video and live stream, I've used a cheap Chinese wireless microphone. And of course, it's much better to have the microphone very close to your mouth or maybe close to your chest so that you don't get all the other noises in the road. So of course, every live stream you watch with me is talking a little bit about recovered carbon black. And I think this year there are so many developments in recovered carbon black. But still, this is a waiting year for the industry to put up significant industrial capacities. Everybody is working on construction, on the permits and on partnerships. So that's going to be interesting in the next couple of years. Also, one thing I found really nice during the last events, the tire technology in Hanover and also the ATRA conference, the Pyrolysis Forum in Brussels, to see the industry working together. And there might be actually an association coming up or some other sort of formalized collaboration of recovered carbon black producers. And this is very, very good to see, because there's more synergies, there's more opportunities really than there is competition right now. So so much about recovered carbon black. We don't have any live watchers at the moment, so maybe we'll just finish the stream. Maybe everybody is in the weekend already. Wishing you a very nice weekend. And if you have any question about coaching, about the Congress in Barcelona, or about recovered carbon black, tire recycling, please just contact me, and it will be a pleasure to help you. Thank you all, and have a good weekend. Bye from Berlin.